folks, Kathy Williams-DeVries here from Brisbane, Australia, welcoming you to the 27th in my series on the 72 Rosé Etude mini masterclasses. We've reached number 27, and this exercise concentrates on a few aspects of clarinet playing. You're working in A major, so there's a few sharps to deal with, although it seems to dwell a lot on E major with the presence of D sharps. So that makes it interesting. There's interesting harmonies in the triplets. Also, I mean, my key work's a little bit clunky at the moment. I really need to get it looked at. I haven't had it looked at in a while. But because of the presence of the D sharp, there are, and it's enharmonic note E flat, you do need to use the left hand C quite a bit. There's also wide intervals, so you're looking at getting those as smooth as possible, and that's going from intervals in the upper clarion down to the throat tones. And if you listen to my preparation video for this video, you'll notice that I was having a little bit of trouble with the throat notes. They were tending to squeak and come out of the upper harmonic because I wasn't dropping my jaw enough. But let's see if we can't combat this. So we start at moderato 96. Now the way this etude is written, even though the moderato is in fact 8 markings slower than the triplets at 104, I believe it sounds quicker because you're in semiquavers and the rest of it is in triplet quavers. So with the different harmonies, it's also good to play around a little bit with the tone colour. I especially like the pianissimo sort of 2/3 of the way down the page, where you're playing a D major arpeggio, which then goes to D minor, and then you've got a diminished fifth chord before going back to your E major. Yeah, there's various tonalities in this piece that warrant attention. But let's start with the beginning. You're only at a moderato 96, so you don't want to be too fast, because I think it wrecks it. Okay, so... And also, I think there's a mistake here in the third bar. I believe it's meant to go G sharp E, G sharp B, E, rather than the C sharp, because because it's breaking the sequence, and I think it must be a typo. But anyway, let's start with the first 6 bars. I forgot the D sharp there. And I think a writ there is quite in order. So and don't forget the accent. So we've actually got a B minor chord there, which is the 7th of A major. I don't know if this piece really thinks it should be in A major. I think the majority of time it wants to be in E major. But anyway, so that's the first part of it. I don't believe, I mean, apart from that typo in the third bar, there's nothing too dramatic in that. It's just basically arpeggios, which is basically what this etude is all about. So this is 104, you don't want to take it too fast. Make sure that the jaw's relaxed enough to go down to the throat tones without playing the upper harmonic. And in the third, I'll play it, and then when we get to the third bar I'll explain. So here we've got larger leaps. Now we're going from a C to an A sharp. You should use the long fingering there for the A sharp or B flat. And emphasize the lower note so the upper note comes out more clearly. And then the next line's a repeat. Oops, I think my key works really clunky at the moment. I'm not really happy with it. Okay, so in this third line of the triplets, we do finally get to A major after spending quite a deal of time in E. And there we are. So you get the E, the dominant seventh. Well, they don't slow down. I just did that for effect, but. Different lines happening which you should bring out. There's a lot of bark, counterpoint and bark. He's very much influenced Rosé in this respect. So you've got in the last bar of the fifth line, you've got really support that lower note. So if you go to the beginning of that line, and here we've got two lines. So we've got which we should bring out. Just bring that out slightly. It's got an interesting little line. And then you've got that interesting line. And continuing. Again, you've got an interesting little line there. And then we go back to the beginning again. And then change of tone colour to the minor. So we've got a lot of G sharps, so we're now going to G natural. So and we couldn't resist going back into the E major chord. Now we've got some interesting stuff. These next few bars are really clunky because you're fiddling around with the left hand C in order to cater for the right hand E flat. So he substituted D sharps for E flats in this particular case. So we're dealing with a diminished seventh, I suppose, on the A. And he develops this further. you'll have to figure out the F to G flat. You can't use the banana key because you've got to then go to the E flat. So you're just going to have to put up with that. And in the second bar of that line, the top E flat, the second top E flat, you'll have to use the fingering, which is 3, 4, 3, and then the E flat key with the right ring finger slightly off the key, otherwise it will be flat. And then this is the first dynamic marking you get of a double P. This is where we have that wonderful key change. If anything, I would apply the double P to that bar rather than the bar before, but that's just my interpretation of it. And then you've got this again, the diminished chord. So and here is where we prepare to go back to the major key, where the C natural to E flat turns to C natural to D sharp. And then back to the beginning again. And this is where you need to keep the jaw very relaxed so that you don't end up squeaking. Very relaxed. And then we go down the sequence. And we end up on the 7th chord of B major, which is interesting, which is actually the second, unless of course we're assuming this is in, I don't think it's in F sharp minor at all, and that would only be the 4th in F sharp minor anyway. Okay, so we want to get, especially around the middle of the etude, clunking around the left hand C and E flat, you want to get that, and we want smoothness over the range. So let's play it all the way through for you.